What's up, guys? So, I have a new project of sorts. This right here is a GoPro Fusion 360 camera. My plans with the Osmo didn't quite go as planned. It's so unpredictable, you know. The Osmo kind of has a brain of its own. It's designed to be held, so all the controls and features are at your fingertips. But once you strap it to a drone, it's kind of just, you know, up to it to decide what to do best. But what's nice about a 360 camera is it just records everything, and you do all of that stabilization and picking your framing and all of that in post. So at least for a drone where you don't have control of the camera in the air, a 360 camera is probably the better way to go, at least for this style of filming. I'm kind of new to the 360 game, a little late to the party, but, you know, better late than never. So the idea is, you know, this can get the same kind of stabilized shots at an Osmo. The only problem is when you crop it down to a smaller framing, you are going to get less resolution. So, you know, the Osmo at least has this really narrow field of view at 4K 60, right? So it can crop in really close to something, or I guess be more telephoto with a higher resolution, where because this is so wide angle, if I were to crop down to have, you know, the same crop as, let's say, the Osmo or GoPro wide, it turns out to be more like 1080p instead of 4K. But for most YouTube online kind of content, that's totally fine. So first things first, let's talk about what I did right here. A lot of how I see 360 cameras like this mounted is normally just on top where the GoPro goes, or on top of the battery. The problem with having it mounted just right here is the quad ends up taking 50% of your usable image, right? Because it's so close here, half of the image below and in front and behind is all getting used up by quad. A lot of that's fine for most people because they want the drone in view. But I'm trying to use the 360 camera more as a stabilized normal camera. So I don't want any props in view. I don't want any quad in view. I want it to be as if it's a floating camera. So the best way to do that is to make a selfie stick for the drone of sorts. It's get it further away so that now, if we look at the angles here, you know, that's a lot less than half of the image getting used up. That's only, you know, maybe 25% of the image getting used up. So now we have a 75% more usable, or not 75% more, but, you know, 75% of the image is usable, where before only 50% was. So we gained a lot more usable image just by adding this extender right here. It's just a 3D printed mount that I made. Then some tube clamps to hold it because I really don't feel like losing my $700 Fusion. My ultimate goal is to have something like a 5-inch quad that's incredibly agile, incredibly nimble, but also has a second camera operator. That's the dream. But this is kind of this middle ground where it's a 5-inch quad, so it flies pretty well, even with this big weight here. And then the camera operator is in Sense in post. So in post, you do all the camera work. So let's fly it, see how it goes. You'll see it's kind of a sketchy takeoff and landing, but Please don't do that at home. Don't ever catch and land your drone in your hand. It's not safe. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching this video. I'm just experimenting. I'm seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, just having fun. This of course will never ever replace my usual just GoPro long range footage. That's the roots. That's never gonna go away. But it's always fun to explore, new avenues.